What's up guys? Ready for another round of drawing your favorite anime characters? In today's video, I'll be teaching you how to draw the Flame Hashira Kyojuro Rengoku from Demon Slayer. I'll be using my digital tablet to draw, but you can use paper and a pencil to join in. You will most likely need an eraser, a black pen, or a fine liner. Let's begin! To start this drawing off, we need to get the base shapes down to form Kyojuro's main figure. So in the first third of your page, we will draw the head. So, draw a nicely rounded circle along with the chin and necklines on each side. From the necklines, draw in the guidelines for the shoulders with a slight curve to them. Then we will draw in a rectangle off the shoulders guidelines. On the right side of the rectangle, about a third of the way down, draw in the guidelines for the arm and the beginning of the right hand as guided. Using the beginning of the right hand, we will draw in the fingers. I will slow this part down for you so it's easier to follow, but do feel free to pause at any time. When drawing the fingers, ensure your lines are loose and the fingers are slightly curved. When happy, rub out the unwanted guidelines. Heading to the left side of the rectangle, we will draw in another arm starting a third of the way down again. Draw in the guidelines for the arm and the beginning of the hand. The beginning of the hand will almost look like a crab claw. Again, using the beginning shape for the hand, we will draw in the fingers. The same rules apply like last time, and when you're happy with your left hand, rub out the unwanted guidelines. At the bottom of the rectangle, draw two lines on an angle heading outwards and then two circles on the ends. The circles are also on an angle as this will help with leg placement later on. From those circles, we will draw in another two lines heading straight down. Off at the end of those lines, draw in the base shape for the feet. Your drawing should look something like this. Going back to the head, we are now going to work on the face and the hair. So draw a horizontal guideline 2/3 of the way down. This will help us with the eye placement. When done, draw in the eyes. They will be almond shaped and on a slight angle inwards. Also add in the smaller details such as the top eye line and the inner tear ducts. Now for the inner eye details, we will draw in 3 circles, one inside the other for the iris and the pupil. This will be done for both eyes. The sketch is a little bit fine, so an enlarged version will be shown as a demonstration. When the eyes are done, draw in the 2 eyebrows above the eyes. They should be on fleek and rather eccentric looking. After, draw in all the creases around the eyes. Then halfway between the guideline and the bottom of the circle, draw in the nostrils for the nose. This will be done by making a couple of gestural marks. Next, rub out the unwanted guidelines and draw in the mouth just below the nose. One of the edges should be pointed while the other has a curve just to show that he's eating. Then, add in the smaller details like the teeth line and the chin line underneath the mouth. Now we're going to draw in Kyojuro's flame-like hair. This will be broken into parts to make the process much easier. Keep in mind when drawing the hair you are imitating flames, so the lines need to be curved and pointed. Feel free to pause at any time if you missed a part or want to use the drawing as a reference. The hair is down, it needs to go to the ears. The ears will be partly covered by the hair, so when drawing in the ears, this is going to be done by placing a few curved lines like shown. It's a very subtle detail. Then, rub out the top circle guideline to draw in the hairline. In the front parts and the end of his hair, we will need to draw in some detailing to show where the red bits in his hair will be. This will be slowed down and done in parts. When those parts are done, we are going to draw in some crease lines in the hair to give some more shape and movement. We are now going to work on his right arm, so for this part we will need to draw in the shape of his sleeve. Start by drawing a line from the rectangle to the smaller circle to form the base of the arm. Then draw in his forearm as shown. Leave a gap between the sleeve and the hand for the next part. We will now connect the sleeve to the hand by creating an inner sleeve and draw in 2 curved lines to connect everything. Then rub out the unwanted guidelines. It should look something like this in the end. Now for the left arm, from the shoulder guideline, draw in a curved line to the little circle which acts as the elbow point. Then draw in the forearm sleeve, ensuring your lines are nicely curved. Rub out the unwanted guidelines and draw in 2 curved lines to act as the inner sleeve of the left arm. Heading back to the right hand, we need to add in a few things like the chopsticks and some detailed hand features. Ensure when drawing the chopsticks that one is smaller than the other. Then for the hand, draw in the fingernails, knuckles, and crease line at the bottom of the hand. And back to the left hand again, we're now going to draw in the hand details such as the fingernails and knuckles. Then we'll draw in the rectangle shape with the beginning of the bento box that he will be holding. Draw in the bottom part of the bento box, and then we are quickly going to go back and add some details to the thumb. Sorry, I just made a few small adjustments to the top of the thumb as I wasn't too happy with it. Now we'll be working on the torso area. So on the sides, we are going to use the guidelines to draw in the sides of his top. This will create the effect of the top looking a little baggy. Then rub out the unnecessary guidelines after. Heading to the neck, we're going to draw on the collar of his top. Then, from the bottom right side of his collar, we will draw on a vertical line to make the top's opening. Make sure that this line reaches all the way down. Next, draw on the 4 buttons of the top and the beginning of his cloak that is draped over his shoulders. It should look something like this. To finish the top parts of the cloak, draw on the line details to ensure it looks as if it's draping over the shoulders, and then add in the beginning of the pocket on the left side of his top. We're going to continue the cape down the sides of the body, so you'll need to draw one curved line on the right side and then another one on the left side, ensuring that one's a little bit thicker. To do this, you will need to draw on 2 lines, one from the side of the shoulder and the other from the side of the arm. Heading to the right side of the torso again, we need to rub out the unwanted guidelines so we can draw in some rounded lines to create the side of the arm. Then we'll place in some crease lines on both of the sleeves. At the bottom of his top, we are going to draw on the starting base shape for his belt, so we will need to draw on 2 curved lines along with the rectangular square in the middle as shown. Next, we will add in the smaller details to the buckle along with the 4 loops, 2 on each side. When that is done, we will add in some extra details to the strap as well as the end tip of the belt on the left side. Then, add in the extra punch holes going along the belt strap. Now, seriously, we need to give this dude some pants, so that's what we're gonna do. Using the guidelines and the shapes put in place, draw on his pants. Use the circles to help with the direction, but also don't forget to be loose with your lines so we can imitate the fabric of his pants. This will also be slowed down to make it easier for you to follow. Again, feel free to pause at any time. Down to the calf and the ankle area, we need to draw on the rest of his clothing. So to do that, we need to draw in 2 lines, one on each side, along with a curved line at the bottom. This needs to be done to both of the legs. After, rub out the unwanted guidelines. Using the base shapes that we drew for the feet, we're now going to draw on his shoes. This part will be slowed down to make it easier to follow. It should look a little something like this in the end. Now for more details on the clothes. Above the shoes, we're going to draw in the famous flame design on the fabric. Make sure the flames are rounded so it looks as if it's wrapping around the calf. This will be done on each side. To finish his pants off, we need to rub out the unwanted guidelines and add some details. This will be done by drawing lines for the crease marks to give more shape to his clothing. For his cloak, we are now going to add in the flame-like ends on the right side. Keep in mind, some of the parts are overlapping one another. We need more empty bento boxes. So on the left side, we are going to draw in 6 boxes, one on top of the other. Keep in mind, some are on a different angle. Don't worry, this will be slowed down to make life much easier. Now, draw in some lines on those boxes to give a wooden texture to them. The bentos are in. Now we're going to add more details to the cape by creating flame patterns on the inside. Then, add 2 smaller parts of the cape behind the bento boxes. To finish the drawing off, add the final touches such as the details to the bento in his hand and his clothes. This is done by drawing in a few simple lines. It should end up looking something like this in the end. When you have finished your touch-ups and are happy with your drawing, start outlining it with a black pen or a fine liner. Take your time with this part, as you don't want to make any mistakes that you cannot rub out. The final and optional part, color in your drawing. You can use whatever materials you like. At the moment, I'm using Procreate for this. So when I color in, I like to add in different tones just to add more depth and life to my drawings. After all that work, you now have an awesome drawing of Kyojuro eating from a bento. If you enjoyed drawing this anime character or learned anything new, boop that like button and don't forget to subscribe for more anime drawing tutorials.